Hey, this is Scott Moore of iTalk SEC. Glad to be here at the Tallahassee Quarterback Club, one of the great quarterback clubs in America. Coach Jimbo Fisher at the kickoff party 2016. Hey, what's better than college football? Glad to be here in Tallahassee.
So glad that you are here with us at our 67th annual kickoff event for the Tallahassee Quarterback Club. And for several of you who are brand new, I'm Hugh Tomlinson, the president of the Quarterback Club, Tallahassee Quarterback Club, and it's my honor to be here with you tonight. And thank you for being here, every one of you. Thank you so much. There's a fella that came to see us a couple of years ago. He was one of our speakers, and you might have missed it, but you really didn't. He did a so-so job, so I gave him an opportunity to come back again. Scott Moore from iTalk SEC is here with us this evening. Thank you, Scott.
One of the great statesmen in Arkansas and a football fan. Please welcome former President Bill Clinton. First of all, I want to say that it is so good to be here tonight. And one of the main reasons it's so good to be here tonight is Hillary did not make the trip. And I'm looking around at all these beautiful ladies here tonight, and I just tell you what, I want to let you know I'm staying at the Duval Inn, room 4382, and y'all come on by. Do not vote for Hillary. Go Hogs, call the Hogs, get out of here. Please welcome the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier.
Well, it's good to be here. You know, Coach, it's tough taking off them headphones for the final time and walking off into the sunset, especially during the middle of the season, like I did. And, you know, it's good to be here in FSU country. Of course, every time we came up here as Gators, we were kind of like Dabo. We got our ass beaten quite a few times up here. At least that's what they're going to put on my epitaph one day. At least he played FSU. So, anybody got any dumb questions that they want to ask, and I'll be glad to answer. Yes, I am going to be in charge of Florida quarterbacks. We've already decided to go ahead. I've told Jim what we're going to do down there and who we're going to start. And hopefully he'll do what we say. If we do what we say, we'll probably get back to Atlanta. So make no mistake that I'm in charge down there, Coach. You know that. And look forward to coming up here in December, I believe, first week or last week in November, and getting ourselves hammered really good by you guys again. So, gotta say it, scalp them Seminoles, and hey, I know you work here, but when the old ball coach is up here speaking, you better treat me like Jesus, okay? Okay, appreciate that. He gave me this, he did the acknowledgement, that's all we were looking for right there. Good luck to you guys, and we'll see you later. But I'll be on the sideline, Coach. You know I can't get too far away from it. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Please welcome the winningest coach in college football history, Coach Bobby Bowden.
I'll tell you what, it's good to be here. You know, it's great to come in here. You know, and see all these dadgum Seminoles. And hear the band playing and all that kind of stuff. Heck, I feel like I'm 70 now. and let me say this, Coach. I know you've had a great. We've heard from some of your mentors, and people ask me all the time. You know, how long you gonna be alive? You know.
It used to be how long you gonna be coaching, and that's changed to how long you gonna be here, you know. And people have asked me, who was one of the great people that maybe influenced your life to be the football coach that you are? And I've read all those great books, you know, Sun Tzu, The Art of War. Every battle is won before it's ever fought. So I started looking as a young coach, who could I emulate the best? Who do I need to follow to get to where we need to get at Florida State? And that guy, and that one person, was Sheriff Buford T. Justice of Smokey and the Bandit. Now, how many of you ever seen that? Well, if you hadn't, it's on TBS every day. And I'm going to finish out by saying this. You know, everybody always comes up to me and they say, hey, how's Terry? How's Tommy? You know, why words? Words that end in Y. And here's the deal. This is what it boils down to. If you want to win a national title and build the kind of championship teams that you need to build, you better have these Y words ready for on your Saturday, you understand? That's another word, Saturday. Y word. First of all, you got to have your quarterback who's athletically. We just saw one a few minutes ago, James. Mobility, agility, dependability. Those are all that very important things, but you young ones that are out here, now, I see a lot of young ones, I tell you. You young ones out here, if we don't have any eligibility, then we ain't got none of those. Now that was a dadgum good punchline, and y'all just, you looking on your dadgum phone while I'm up here talking. What is more important on that dadgum phone than me up here talking to a dadgum Seminole Club? Well, you should be telling that. You get on Twitter and tell everybody how dadgum good I still am at 92 years old. Well, it's time for me to go, and let's let Jimbo come up here and do what he does.
I don't want to come up now.
Thank y'all for having me. Go Seminoles. We're bringing home another national championship. This is the guy that's going to do it, Jimbo Fisher. Good night, and we'll see you later.
I don't know if I really want to get up here after here. That's pretty good. But no, it's great to be here. As I said, it's kind of flown by. As I realized that I was sitting back looking at my notes, and I keep a lot of notes on different things. And the 7th year I've been here. I mean, it has really flown by. My 10th year in Tallahassee, 3 as a coordinator, now going on my 7th year as a head coach. Yeah, this city has been really good to me, and it's great. And I can say, I don't know if I ever remember this room being as full as it is right now. This thing, y'all must think we went pretty good. You got some excitement, but it is. I don't know if you asked those guys today. It's about the end of camp. I don't know if they don't know how good they are right now. They're feeling little bumps and bruises and some soreness right now, but it is here. It's great to be here. And as I sat and reflected back, and I was going through my notes, and as we sat up here and I listened to the first talk I had, we were coming off a 7-6 season, and we got to a bowl game and did some things, and we've accomplished some things in between. Not here to say that, but it's funny as I go through my notes each year. They're almost identical. I mean, they really are. I mean, it's amazing. It's just like I tell the kids, and I said, well, what do I got to do different? And I said, wait a minute, why do I want to do something different? If we keep winning, first of all, I'm too superstitious. I'm going to tell you that right now. But second of all, just like I tell our kids, the reasons we have success and the reasons, at the beginning of the year, it's funny, you hear the seniors sit there, have been there 4 years. It's not exactly the same talk. We tweak it by what we're adjusting and things we do, but they say, Coach, you say the same things. I said, well, when the reasons for being successful change, I'll change. When they don't, I'm going to say the same things over and over and over and over. Because in sports, we don't realize it. Sometimes fans don't like it. But consistency is the key to success. Being able to repeat things over and over and over and over. As we tell our kids every day, we're not going to practice it till we do it right. We're going to practice it till we can't do it wrong. And that's kind of the MO. And so I guess you guys are going to get about the same talk again. So I don't know. I hope you're not too excited for something new. But no. But you know what is new? Every team that you have, and you hear me say this all the time, they're all different. Well, they say, well, Coach, you got so many more guys back, you hardly lost anybody, it's going to be really good, it's going to be the same. Let me tell you something. When you change one thing, everything changes. Now, you can keep a lot of the same principles, you can keep a lot of the same values and everything you do, but that personality, people say, well, how can that happen? I said, well, let me ask you this. When you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids, whatever, same mom, same dad, same genes, are they all the same? They're never the same, and no matter how hard. And if you got more than 2, well, 3, 2 of them are all right, one of them's a knucklehead. And that's about 2 out of 3. In my case, it's 1 out of 2. I was sure it ain't 2 out of 2. I got one that asked for permission and one that asked for forgiveness. I mean, that's just the way they are, but their personality is different. Teams are the same way, folks. I think that's why this room is so full. Because you really don't know. People say, well, go, you got to know. No, I don't. If I knew, I would sleep a heck of a lot better, I promise you. And see what this is right here? These are sleep gauges. We're gauging our players' sleep. And they have me put one on. And what we're trying to do is we incorporate into them. We always tell them what you eat, what you train, and all that. But sleep is extremely critical to your effectiveness during the day. Now, I looked at mine, and I had a 7 days after you mark off what you are, what your effectiveness is. And I'm not telling the players what mine is. mine's at 31 hours in 7 days, so that's about a little over 4 hours a day. But, the point being, it's not, I just don't sleep. It has nothing to do with that. But the point being, everything changes so much. Everything in these kids. And getting them to be the same or to be consistent, it's a hard thing. But they all take their own personalities. They all take their own attitude. And I think, again, that's why this room is here, because we don't know. You don't know. And then you think you practice all day long for a month, all summer, all spring. Well, you got to know. No, I don't. Because what changes is the pressure that these kids have to handle. So we spend a lot of time this camp, maybe even more so than ever. And I think a lot of it had to do with, how we're opening the season. People ask me all the time, does the season opener change you? Yes, it does. The urgency and how you have to get set up. And then you look at the first half of our schedule, how tough it is. It really changes. You have to do some things a little bit different. You have to be a little more aggressive at times because you can't play your way into some experience. You can't, and you got to take a few more chances in practice because you got to be ready quicker. But I don't know. Is that the right call? I think it is. We'll find out when we get there. But this team, the one thing I do like about it the most is when you say go, it goes. And there's a tremendous core of leadership in this group right now. I mean, there really is. And it's, we're a very unique team in a lot of ways. And you're not, as a coach, you're never on these kind of teams very often. Especially when you're having the amount of success that we've had. Is that people say, well, Coach, you got a lot of experienced guys. We do. But at the same time, we're still a very young football team. There's only like 9 or 10 seniors on the whole football team. There's only 4 right now that approximately that have starting, with 4 or 5 of those guys that really be starting. They'll all be playing and contributing. But when you think about that, it's kind of unique. And also as a coach, you say, well, that's great. It is. But it's also very difficult. Because when young players have a lot of success, what happens? They get full of themselves. They get full of themselves. And unfortunately, some of y'all help that cause. Y'all help that cause. But what you say, how you do, and the way things are. So, but this group is a little bit different. It's got a personality that it's hungry, it wants to prove something. So we've spent a lot of time grinding, and I call evaluating and educating. I think as a coach, that's what you're constantly doing. You're constantly evaluating who can play, what you got going on, what's got to happen, what combination of this, what combination of that, what's your third down package, what's your goal line package, what's your red zone package, whatever it may be. But at the same time, you have to have great education for these kids. And I think, and I hate to say it, but I don't know if kids are as situation smart as they used to be. Because I think kids sit inside now and do this and play. And they always laugh at me. I say Nintendo. Coach, they say, what the heck is Nintendo? I don't know. I'm not a video game guy. And social media and all that stuff, I'm handicapped. I'm going to promise you on that stuff. I don't understand all that stuff. But they all stay inside. We used to get kicked out of the house and go play at the park all day. And if you were in the house, you were 2 things. 1, you were in trouble, or 2, you were sick. And otherwise, they kicked you out of the house. And you went and played, and you played ball, and you played at the park, and you had to figure it out on your own. And when the bigger kids wouldn't let you play, and you wanted to play, and you had to prove yourself. You don't have that as much anymore. You don't have that as much. And think about your kids. How many times when you were a kid, your mom kicked you out of the house, you'd leave at 8 or 9 in the morning, and you'd come back at 9 at night, and she'd be standing on the porch screaming at you to come home when the lights come on. In my case, it'd be when the Owls started hooping, I didn't have any lights out in West Virginia. We didn't have any electricity. We didn't have anything. There wasn't no light. I was too busy running home in the dark, scared to death. But, you know, but they got an experience of playing out in the park, playing in the fields and playing with kids, and it made them different, in my opinion. There was a toughness to them. There was a savvy to them. There was I got to figure it out. Now you sit inside and you play on social media, you play these games. Kids are different. And I think a big part of coaching that today, more than ever, as I've been at 29 years, is educating kids on the game of football. Now, I know that sounds crazy to you, but and actually how to play. Now, I'm going to say this. I think we have better athletes. I'm making a general statement, not just at Florida State. I think we have better athletes maybe than have ever played across the board nationally. Because this has become America's game. Football is just, when they talk about baseball is America's game, well, football is America's passion. Whatever it may be, it's on top. There's more great athletes playing than ever. The more you spread the game out, now those guys that used to play basketball and be 6'5" and 6'6" and 6'7", they're all rushing the passer, catching passes, being tight ends, you're throwing the ball. It used to be, I call wad ball. You could turn the film on and watch all 11 guys from the end zone copy. Now it's all spread out. So it's changed. But these kids don't get to go do that again. So you're constantly educating them on the game, how to play, and the ability to be tough. Now everybody said, well, they're stronger, faster. But they ain't went to the park and had their tail kicked by the older kid for about 3 years. They ain't had to figure it out. And it's a different generation. And my point is, I don't know if we necessarily have better football players. All them old guys, that's telling us old guys too. We think we can play it just as good as those guys do too. I mean, not as good an athlete. But there's a different educational process going on in coaching right now that I think is one of the keys to the success. And then that gets back to intelligence level, the ability to process information and learn. And you know what the other thing is? Accept coaching. Because in kids today, the other thing that's hard about it, and I know I'm giving you a lesson here, but it's unique with these teams. I'm trying to give it to you because think about the school. When you went to school and you got in trouble, what did the teacher do? Take you outside and take a board to your rear end, didn't it? He or she, whatever it may be. You can't touch them now. You can't talk to them. You can't yell at them. You can't get on them. And if they do, mommy runs that way. Little Johnny was right, you're wrong. And when you think, well, how's that? Well, it affects us. The kids and kind of kids you deal with today. It doesn't make them wrong. They don't know they don't know. So we educate them. What he was talking about, those Y words, it is. It's about accountability. It's about responsibility. It's about dependability. And it gets to be selfish because we're in a self-absorbed society right now. And it's hard for these kids to accept that, especially when they have a lot of success early. So we had a lot of different challenges in our team. But what I love about this team, I think it's an intelligent team. I think it learns well. And I think the greatest thing it does, which I think is the hardest thing for kids to do today, you know what it is? Listen. Because of, just like he was saying about that phone. You know why? We don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore. Think about it. You go to a restaurant. Who's going to Shula's? Who got that ticket to Shula's? Go there, and if there's a family there, look at them when they're sitting there at the table. Especially if they're of a younger generation. They all got their phones out, and they're all doing this, and they ain't even talking to each other. No one communicates in today's world. We communicate through the phone. We communicate through social media. We communicate through the computer. And kids, they hear you, but they don't listen. We spend a lot of time on those kind of characteristics, getting kids to listen, getting kids to understand. That's some of the biggest challenges. So when y'all up there going, why the heck they do that? Well, they wasn't listening. I've been trying to tell you. But, they don't. And that is a huge characteristic and an issue in how coaching has changed so much. Back in the old day, when you didn't listen, coach snatched you by your face mask, jerk you up. You listen real quick. As Lou used to do, Lou just spit it. He just sprayed it. He gets covered. And they learned to listen. They didn't want to get wet. You know what I mean? They didn't want to get wet. But it's a whole different generation, It is. It's a whole different culture of things of how you got to do because kids are different. And how you teach them, how you coach them. But that's one of the greatest characteristics I like about this team. It's allowing itself to be coached. For the most, we always have, again, there's always a couple knuckleheads. People say, well, how's that guy go act up, coach? Well, you got 3 and can't keep one of them, or 2 of them. I got 130, and you're acting about 2 or 3. But it's a cause. That is. But, I like the personality of this team from an aspect of it's trying to listen better, and it's working hard. It's a group that has a little chip on its shoulder, and it knows it's talented. but it also knows it has a lot of work to do. It's not walking around, but it's also not walking around with a lack of confidence. And there's a fine line in between, because you don't want to destroy their confidence and what they can be. But at the same time, that's why those championship teams take different personalities. People say, well, is this like the 13 team? Is this like the 14 team? Is this like the 15 team? Do you like to compare your kids? You can't, because you love them all in a different way. And they all have their own characteristics. But this team has a lot of characteristics that I think have championship qualities. Now, it's just a matter of when you put them together. And that's why this camp has been a very tough, physical, not just physically, but mentally. But, you know, when you go across our board, offense and defensively, now I'll give you a couple highlights of some guys, you know, that I'm very confident in our defense. I think we got a lot of different packages. We got a lot of 3-down packages, 4-down packages. We can rush nickel and dime packages, because people say, well, Coach, why are you always in 4-2-5? We're not a 4-2-5 defense. We're a base with four down guys, 3 backers, but everybody in today's ball plays 3 and 4 wideouts. So when you go put linebackers out in space on receivers, good things usually don't happen a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to do. So you have to match, and there's times we will. But, you know, up front, just to give you a couple guys, you know, Josh Sweat and DeMarcus Walker really having great camps. Very happy with those guys. Very proud of them. They're doing a heck of a job. Keith Bryant's back in that mix. And then you put a young guy named Brian Burns, who I think has a chance to be a really, really, really good player. You'll see him a lot this year as a freshman. He'll contribute. And there's a local guy here, Jacob Pugh, plays outside linebacker DN, who in the last 6 days now, this guy's always had tons of ability. He's played good, but he's starting to take it to another level. Very proud of him. He's doing some really good things. And then inside, a guy named Derek Noddy, who, Derek is, if you ever see him, I tease him every day. He's like a big old bowling ball. I mean, but he can run, he's strong. I mean, he squatted over 750 pounds. And we stopped him. I mean, I don't know if I was thinking about it, I've never had one. He benched over 500. So, I mean, he's playing like it. He's not just being a weight room guy. See, a lot of times you get enamored by these numbers because they're combine numbers. We're in a combine world today. This guy's a good football player. You know, and there's a Mr. Jones, Fred Jones behind him, and you remember his dad numbers. They weren't too bad. Fred's coming on, doing a really nice job with Arthur. And then on the other side, DeMarcus Christmas, Wally Aim. I mean, all those guys are doing a real good job inside. Very happy with that front group. At linebacker, we've got Roderick Hoskins, who's doing really well right now. Of course, Jacob will be in there along with Josh Brown. And then at will linebacker, getting Matthew Thomas, who is really having a great camp. Guy is big, long, athletic, can run, can really be a difference maker in a lot of different areas with blitzing and doing some of the things he does. And then the secondary, Mark Wes is doing a heck of a job. In the battle between McFadden and Lewis every day. And you're going to see those guys. Some of those guys will play nickel, some will play boundary corner. We're mixing and matching those guys all over and learning different positions. They're all going to play. Doing a really good job. Devontae Taylor, been outstanding as a young freshman for a guy who's making the adjustment the first time being here, doing really well. You'll see him at nickel in some different places. Malik Jackson's in that group. And then Kyle Myers from New Orleans, been a great, super, done a really good job in that group. I'm trying to think who else am I missing. And Carlos Becker, who can play corner and safety at 6'2". Really like what he's doing. Nate Andrews has been banged up. He'll be back here in a couple of days, getting him back. Of course, Nate's been around 4 years, does a great job. Trey Marshall coming back is huge. Guys, Trey Marshall's a heck of a football player. He play a lot of different positions, is physical. Then you have A.J. Westbrook, and then you have Calvin Bruton back there. Is anybody I forgot? Oh, yeah. No, but now you talk about, again, and I hate to jinx guys, and you know I'm not a guy who builds guys up, I'm really not. But this guy, he gets it. And I'm going to tell you what, one of the best leaders. He and DeMarcus Walker doing a tremendous job. And even Noddy in that group, really doing a great job. And when you have leaders at each level, back coming through, Matthew Thomas is doing a good job there, him and Roderick, and guys that can lead from ends, tackles, and secondary, it makes it a big difference because those meeting rooms are all taken care of every time those guys get together. And how they're around and what they're around. But he's legit now. And everybody talks about his size and speed hitting. This guy is a freak athlete as far as ball skills and covering too. This guy can go play corner in 2 seconds. I trust you. And he can rush the passer and doing really well. Offensively, really happy with tight end. Ryan Izzo's doing a great job. Maven's coming on really well. Nasir Upshur, the young guy, is doing a great job. And then Jeremy Kerr. I tell you what, you talk about a guy, how important ball is. It's funny watching these kids evolve. It's one of the greatest things as a coach. How they are when they come in to how they are when they leave. I don't know if you make a greater jump in your life between when you're 18 and about 22 or 23, especially with responsibility. Dalvin commanded, we all knew what kind of player he was, but Dalvin was very quiet. Not because he was arrogant, but just his personality. Hey, I'll go do my job, I'll work, I'll set an example. Well, he's realized we needed him to be vocal. And now, I mean, now you talk about he and Travis Rudolph have made a jump, personality-wise and maturity-wise. Still, it's not just I'm going to do my job to be great. I'm going to affect other guys. And when he talk about holding them accountable, he and Derwin and those guys, it's amazing watching them mature and doing it. Now, and you got to remember now, every guy I'm talking about being a huge leader besides DeMarcus, none of these guys are seniors. None of these guys are seniors. It's a very good, and you don't always have that as a coach. And that's another thing I like about this team. The demeanor of it for young guys to have enough maturity in that group. And because it's important to have it in every class. Because when your seniors have it, that's great. But sometimes those freshmen and sophomores don't hang out with those guys. You can say it all you want. They don't hang out together. But when you got it in your sophomore class, your freshman class, you know, your junior class, and then, of course, your senior class, those teams used to be pretty good because they have a great influence on them. But Jock West-Patrick's doing a really good job. Vickers, I'm going to tell you, Jonathan Vickers coming back from right here in North Florida Christian, and is really having a great camp. He's got his weight in his back. He had a back issue last year. It just bothered him. When your back hurts, you know, it's hard to play ball. And he's doing a heck of a job. Really like what he's doing. Ryan Green, I'm very pleased with him. And we got that young guy, Amir Rasul now. Y'all going to like him now. You're going to like, he runs like an old guy that was around here, and I'm not going to say it, and I'll never compare him. So I hate comparing guys. But you're going to like him when you see him. When you see him, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I promise you. And then you got Freddie Stevens in that group, a senior. Great guy. Dave Neighbors, another young guy in that group at fullback's doing good. And I really like it. Then DeAndre, quarterback, been very pleased. I mean, Johnny has his ups and downs in practice every day like a freshman. But like James said, we challenge him and put a lot on him. And we try to get after him mentally because that guy touches the ball every play. But what I like about him is his demeanor and his ability to grind. And he has extreme arm talent. He can move, he can run, he thinks, he works at the game. Kids responding, they love him, and he's getting better and better every day. And like I tell him, it's their job to take care of him, and his job to go out there and win that game. A really good deal. Malik, keep doing the things he's done. I know he got a little suspension, but I think everything's going to be fine with him. And we'll work back through it in time. And then, of course, with Sean, you talk about another great leader. I'm going to tell you something, folks. Anytime you ever see Sean McGuire, pat him on the back and shake his hand. There is not a guy who loves Florida State more than Sean McGuire. There's not a guy who gives more of himself and then, can't get a break, gets this, gets that, works hard. I mean, that injury he had, which we couldn't see the break because it was up under his heel. That's only the guy, the foot specialist in Charlotte who does them, he's done them for years and years. He's a top guy in the country as far as doing these special routes. So we had him look at him. He says it's only the second time in his life he's ever seen that bone broken by a football player. I mean, ever. It's just a different deal. And he went out and played on that thing the whole second half and was good and did a great job. Then come back, rehab, then breaks the little bone in his other foot. But they were talking today, he's healing real well. I mean, he may be even doing, there's a possibility he could even be dropping and doing some things in a week and a half. I mean, getting back. I mean, this kid does anything and everything, and then sits in those meetings, helps DeAndre, gives us comments, gives us feedback on the team. This kid is a true Seminole, and it makes you proud that you're around him. And his parents have done a tremendous job. I'm going to tell you, so next time you ever see him, please thank him. I know I'm going through all these guys because you're going to ask me anyway, right? I'm just trying to cover my bases. So, Big Rod Johnson, left tackle's doing a great job. Frith behind him, and you got Bello and Juwan Williams. That young group of freshman linemen, it's hard for a lineman to come in and make a jump right away. But I'm going to tell you, that group of young linemen, they stay together and stay healthy, have a chance to be one heck of a group, that freshman group now. It's really special. Then Kareem Ardgard, but Mr. Robbins doing a great job. At center, Eberle's out, but we expect him back. Got great reports today. He'll even get an individual practice tomorrow, and if everything goes good, he'll be back in practice on Friday, having him back. Corey Martinez has got a good look. And then there's two young centers now, Baselli and doing a great job. I mean, we've even had him in with one just to mix and match. We kind of throw those guys in there because at center is like quarterback. It's a unique position. You can't just put anybody in there. And he's went in and did some practices, was in there today. We put him in there just to see what he'd do because Eberle's out, wow, if something happened, and we threw him in there. And I mean, this guy's going to be a really good player. And Big Bavion is going to be a heck of a player. Those guys, it's a really good group there. Right guard, Wilson Bell, doing a nice job. Landon Dickerson, folks, I'm going to shut up. Rod Jenks, I hate putting him on. This guy's a really good player. I mean, really good player. Cole Minshew, who's banged up now. And to move to Ricky Leonard to right tackle. This guy, he's figuring it out pretty quick. Got a chance to be a really special player, in my opinion. Big Brock Rubel, Josh Ball, a young freshman in that group. Really good. I mean, it is a really good group of young linemen. And then the part about this team that no one asks about that is peculiar about that I'm getting solid with. I like our kick and punting situation. You gotta remember now, we've had some pretty good kickers around here. And that guy that just left was one of the best ever. And his brother actually is doing a really good job right now. Logan Tyler's kicking off and hitting field goals. His leg now. Ricky is actually doing a great job. Logan's got one of those legs now that's similar to a left-footed guy that used to kick here. I'm gonna tell you, that's the kind of strength he has in that leg. Now, who ended up winning that battle is going to be interesting, but that's the kind of leg strength he has. And he also was a punter, and won the punter battling for the punting job, doing a really nice job. And of course, Steve Gabbard doing a good job, and Stephen Gabbard at long snapping. So we got some things there that we can work with, but we got a lot of challenges. We do. I don't know how everybody says. I don't. I like the personality of it. We got to go play it. We got to do it. The demeanor of them, the work ethic, the habits. We've driven them this camp. We got a big scrimmage tomorrow that we'll get through. We got that tomorrow. A lot of situations. We've done a lot of that with our kids, and actually practiced the routine a little bit different than we have in the past for some things, for some educational things, and our kids are grasping hold of it. Tomorrow will be a big day. We'll get through it relatively well, hopefully health-wise, and get some execution and get that confidence, and we'll start our prep for Ole Miss and be in Orlando here in just a couple of weeks. But I love it. I do. I like the part about coaching. People say, "What do you like about coaching?" I said, "Well, it's simple. It's the kids." Well, I know that, but it is. It is that. Afterwards, what they do and become, and watching them become what they can become. And it was funny watching them deal with the pressures, watching them deal with all the things, because there's so much on these kids now. And you think about your own kids. Think about what they've had to deal with coming out. The kids are in school right now. If you've got high school kids and junior high, middle school kids, and the social media and the pressures of what the expectations are and everything that goes on. And then be at Florida State and expect it to be perfect from the day you get here. They're going through a lot, but watching them evolve and carry that and do that and grow in that regard, that's my favorite thing about coaching. It really is. And also winning ain't bad. Beating Gator, beating Canada. But you got to get there. But I do. I like this group. I'm anxious to watch it play, just like you are. It's young, it's talented, and the good thing about it, I think it's going to be talented for quite a few years to come, because it's an extremely young group. But we have to do what we do, and we'll figure it out on the run. Sometimes you got to make game plan adjustments and move. But I like the direction we're going. We got 2 weeks to prepare, and looking for a heck of a season. I really am. I'm like y'all. I'm just as anxious and nervous about this whole thing as you are. Have the expectations. We always have expectations. People say, "Does the expectations bother you?" I said, "Why would I be at Florida State if I don't have expectations?" That's why I want to coach. You want to win national championships. You want to win conference championships. You want to be in that spotlight. People say, "Well, does Showtime cameras bother you?" Tell me when we haven't been in front of the camera. Tell me when we haven't been in front of that. You know what I say? If you have nothing to hide, I love you to see. You know what I want you all to see about that whole series, and I'm serious about this. Everyone's thankful. You got good players, you recruit good players, you throw them on the field. I want you to see what these kids actually go through. You hear about it and know it, but what they actually do and go through on a day-to-day basis to get to where they have to get to. Not just as players, but as people, educationally, and then athletically, and then play at a high level and be perfect. The things that they go through. So I hope that the respect for them, for those kids, and I think, the next time, is we all remember they are kids, and we all love them and watch them grow. But I want you to see that. We have nothing, we're excited about it. I love it. That people, we're wide open, see everything you want. We have nothing to hide. We have nothing to hide. Sometimes I gotta make sure Coach Trickett gets bleepity bleep bleep bleep. Remembering that. Every now and then, some of us we'll slip up every now and then. But it'll be great, because I think, we live in a reality series. Everything's reality. But everything you know is out there. And here's what I want to say. I want people to know the truth and not just what you speculate and what you hear and what goes on. It works. Our kids love it. They're used to it. They're walking around like it don't even bother them. They just go and do everything that goes on. But we got a good group, got a great group of kids, and really looking forward to it. But I know I've been up here quite a while. We got a speaker coming up I got to go listen to. Got Daryl Strawberry's coming in and talk with our kids tonight. And we've had some tremendous speakers come through in the last 10 days. We've had about 10 of them so far in the last 8 to 10 days at different groups and different things that go on, and about some of the pitfalls in life and some of the things that go on, but and what else goes on. But again, and thank you for letting me be your coach. Glad to be here. Hope to be here a long time. Thank you.
All right, we've heard from 5 or 6 coaches tonight. What's it up for the guests? All right. Coach Fisher, we have you a couple of things. You have a Tallahassee Quarterback Club, courtesy or produced by awards for you. Bamboo coasters, from Awards for You. It's really nice. We have you a check for Kids First.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you so much for what you do. And this is a unique gift. We hope you enjoy it. This is done by a local person here in town. A garnet and gold Jimbo Fisher. Very unique piece. We hope you have someone that would enjoy that. There you go. Thank you so much. We'll see y'all next week.